Good morning, friends. It's lovely to be here this morning with Journey Home Meditation for the morning sit. I think we have all of our technical ducks in a row, as it were, if you will. And I'm happy to be here. Why do I say I'm happy to be here if I also emphasize that happiness is not the goal? It's something I think about sometimes. I've been asked that a couple of times in different discussion groups or meditation groups that I've led in various places. I say, I would be talking about how, happiness is not a goal to be reached or a level to be attained. It's really not as important as we might believe it to be if we think of it as this door, like this prize at the end of the race, right? This thing that we get to. And then I had a person in the meditation group say, but you, every week you say that you're happy to be here. And I listen to your morning thing and you say, I'm happy to be here. So why do you say that if it's not that important? And so I thought I'd clarify a little bit this morning. Happiness is, in my experience and my belief structure, that belief structure or belief system, that's you could just call it BS for short, is it is an expression of an experience at the time that it is occurring, but it's not a prize that you get or a reward you receive for a certain level of hard work. It's not anything to be attained, controlled, or attached to. It's simply present for us to tap into. And that was a really good thing for me to learn because I spent a lot of time in my life thinking that I was not happy. Right? Well, I'm just not happy. I can't be happy. Many years, especially in my younger years, teen years, and even younger than that, even as a child, 8, 9 years old, I would have these experiences of extended times where I would recognize, I'm not as happy as all the other kids, or I'm not as happy as I'm supposed to be. That was a big one, right? Aren't you happy? Be happy. You have all of these things. And happiness was used as this bargaining chip for your silence or your submission. If we could placate the children with this notion of happiness, then we don't have to hear their experiences. Because that was one lesson that many of us learned as a child is don't tell people you're not happy, because that leads to crisis, cataclysm, or even worse, ambivalence. And so that happiness thing was always kind of dangled as like, this is the real door prize here. This is the thing you came for, right? And then you enter into a world of commerce where happiness is the selling point on nearly everything, even the food that we eat. The food is supposed to give us sustenance and nutrition. And it is also supposed to, or I don't know if it's supposed to do those any of those things, but it also does provide a place for culture to really cultivate, cultivating culture through our food, cultivating connections, families, friends, communities coming together, gathering around food. Why do I need to be sold a food I'm going to eat with dancing cartoon bears and talking tigers and all of these things promising me happiness, right? It's like at a certain point, I think it makes profane of the sacredness of joy. And what I mean by that is something that is sacred is something that is whole and intact and available and present, right? Sacred spaces are spaces where when we come together to be whole with one another. And this is why we say holy. These are why these are holy spaces. Uh, that wholeness, that holiness of the sacred. And to be profaned is to be just a shadow of what that is, right? And happiness separated out, extracted, and manufactured, sold, and worn like a badge, I think is a bit profane. It's a bit profane to think that if I'm feeling sad, then I must not be happy. That's profane. Of course, you can be both. Of course, you can feel both. Um, it's just not. It's not this thing that we have to wait for. And there's a wonderful song by the Banksons, and that's Bengsons, the Banksons. Um, there's a song they have that the repetitive line is, "I don't want to wait to be happy." And it's a song about mental health. It's a song about struggling and suffering from this world of like psychiatric division and this idea that you have to be of upstanding pure mental health before you'll be happy, or you have to be completely physically fit before you'll be happy. um, you have to make enough money before you'll be happy. You have to have secure housing before you'll be happy. You have to be in a relationship before you're happy. You have kids before you're happy. All these things, you have to come to God before you're happy. Get your hair did just right before you'll be happy. And the song by the Banksons is a total and absolute reclamation of the holiness of being happy, even when you're crazy, even when you're not feeling the best, even when you're maybe not functioning at the highest level you could possibly be functioning in society. You know, you can be happy. We don't have to have permission to be happy. We don't have to wait until uh, there is absolutely nothing dangerous in the room to be happy. And happiness is just the recognition that I am a part of something beautiful. In this moment, in the right here and right now, I'm a part of something beautiful. And we can touch on that, even in our sadness. And sometimes my sadness is my inroad to my happiness. An example, when I think about a loved one who is gone, whose body has died, and they're on their next journey, right? I get sad. I get sad thinking about my friends who I won't get to hold their body and they won't get to hold me in the same way, or the family that I won't get to call for sage advice. You know, um, there's a sadness there that's always available to me. But then when I start to feel that sadness from thinking about these people, I also get to think about these people. And in that thinking of these people, I am brought to great amounts of happiness and joy. Just the fact that you got to be in my mind for the moment today, that I got to spend that moment with my loved one. Such happiness there. And that's not silver lining it. It's not saying, yeah, but don't you think this? No, it's yes and. No, yeah, but yes and. Aren't you sad that your friend's gone? Yes. And I'm immensely happy in the moments that I get to hold them in my heart and think fondly upon the ways that we loved one another and supported one another when we were together. There it is. Happy to be here. So there's great truth in it, even when there's more than one truth. And the reason that I say it is to recognize that no matter what it is that I'm feeling, sometimes my body is hurting. It's not dishonest for me to be happy when my body hurts. So I'll let you know. I'm happy to be here. That this moment right now is a level of holy and sacred for me. And I feel whole when I get to be here. And when I look up, sometimes I can see messages being typed, sometimes I cannot. I don't know why it is, and I'd love to find out. And I'll do some work into that today. This program that I use uh, changed formats a little bit, and this is why I didn't have the audio coming through the video yesterday. But we got that fixed, I hope. And now the next step is going to be to remedy the issue of not being able to see chats. So if you're watching right now and you'd like to say something in the chat of wherever you are viewing this, I might see it and I might not. So, yeah. I think that's all I really have that I wanted to talk about today. I know there was some other things this morning that I was working on in my meditation, but I think it comes down to that in a lot of ways for me. Um, it's like we have this idea that we have to earn all of the things in this life that bring us joy, that are beautiful. Uh, there's places that you go to all over California. You can't go to the beach. It's privately owned. You have to be a member of the private club to get down to the beach. I'm sorry, sir, you haven't paid dues. You can't be here. Well, I'm just here to watch the sunset. No, I'm sorry. That's private. That's a private sunset today. Uh, yeah, I wish I could do something about that, but I just can't. It's the rules. Doing my job, keeping the sunset private. Sorry. You didn't earn that. You have to earn the sunset. There's more than enough places that you can't sit down or lie down on your back and just enjoy the day because you haven't earned it. And this concept, starting somewhere a long time ago, that we've just gone along with, I think it really informs a lot of the ways in which we have this unhealthy relationship to our own bodies and then to each other's bodies, because there's a belief that we do get to earn other people's bodies. We get to earn other people's emotions or loyalties or love. So it's nefarious on both sides. Either you believe that you haven't earned love, or you believe that you've earned all of this love and you own it and control it and you're owed it. They owe you this. When really that just sort of began from a flawed concept. That's all. Just a flawed concept. It's nothing that's not changeable. We can change that in a moment. In any moment, we can just stop agreeing that that sunset's private. In any moment in this conversation, we can just stop agreeing with the concepts that people have to earn the right to live, that you have to earn the right to be happy, that you have to earn the right to feel okay in your own skin. You don't. It's right there. It's right there. And that can sound really pompous and frustrating when it's just out of reach. You know, that's the thing, that one breath away, we are one breath away from wholeness. We're one breath away from presence. We are one breath away from being here together in this moment right now. Just one breath. But that one breath, that may as well be universes, galaxies. The separation of that one breath can be very, very large. But like Hanuman could just leap with one leap over the seas and get to the place that he needed to be in that moment to be of service. There it is. That's Hanuman teaching us. You know, that distance, that thing you think is really far away, maybe it's just a leap. Maybe it's just a breath. That happiness, that joy, maybe it's just one breath in and one breath out. And if you don't find it there, try again. Either way, you're going to be breathing, so why not put it to some sort of a tool for awareness, right? Being with that breath. And after a few of them, I would nearly guarantee that you're going to be able to find and access different feelings in your body. And I can't guarantee happiness, and I can't guarantee the loss of sadness. I would never want to guarantee any of that. But I do know that, like the Banksons say, I don't want to wait to be happy. I'm just going to go ahead and choose that right now. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to be still struggling to pay bills, and I'm going to be terrified sometimes in my day with my anxiety when it really comes and wants to hang out and takes over a little bit. And then until I can breathe and come into healthy relationship with my anxiety, then I'll suffer that. But it'll end, and I'll breathe. And I can access whatever it is that I need to access in that moment. I just forget that sometimes. I forget that. Life can feel so real sometimes, these crises and these things that want to take us into that place of fear and punishment and protection and perceived safety. It can feel so real. But I think it comes down to being able to just remember who I really am, who you really are, and what we're doing here. I don't have to agree that I am less than. I don't have to agree to that. I don't have to agree that you are less than, or that anyone out here is less than. I don't have to agree that anyone needs to be removed from the picture. There's that critical way of living, and I am definitely party to this, where we're just so critical. I find that sometimes I even have a difficult time parenting, um, because I want to just reinstill the joy and the love that exists as a parent, but what comes out of my mouth is a warning, like, "Oh, don't do this. Remember not to do that. Remember." It's like, dude, calm down. These kids are fine. Just tell them how much you enjoy seeing them every day. And I love them so much. And I'm so happy and joyful and all of the things. But then what comes out of my mouth is, "Hey, remember to turn off your light when you go to sleep. Hey, remember?" Yeah, all these little life lessons. This is important. I'm your father. I need to help teach you these things. No, come on. Come on, really? Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that. But at the end of the day, when I'm lying there and surrounded by family and I'm dying, I don't think I'm going to look up and I'm going to go, "Son, remember, it's not healthy to sleep with the light on." I don't think that's going to be my parting words. I think it's just going to be thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of all the things that I was when I was here, one of them is that I was happy to be here. And it's one breath away. So let's go to that space. Let's take a couple of breaths together this morning. So you can move your body into any comfortable position you'd like, or you can just stay right where you are as you are. And the breaths that we're going to be taking, we want to bring that in through our nose. We want to bring that breath in, focusing on bringing the diaphragm all the way down into the belly, making the belly larger. So you might have to do a little bit of work to breathe it deeply into the belly that way. And when I say deeply, I don't mean take gulping breaths. We don't need to we're not running out of air. We don't have to hoard it or get it all right away. What I mean by deep is deep into the body, a deep, rich experience, breathing down into the bottom of the belly. So let's breathe in through our nose and out of the mouth. Really elongating that exhale, nice and slow and long and really thorough. Feel that entire exhale as you breathe out. You'll feel all of these things releasing, knots untying, things letting go, and things will just escape right out of that mouth with the breath. Breathe in through the nose. And release. Breathing in. And out. Start to recognize the pattern and the rhythm that you've developed in your own breath and in your own body. Hear the subtleties. Feel the tiny movements. And as you start to feel that shift form in your chest and in your heart, you'll start to feel it. There's an opening that's taking place there, like a stretch that's happening right inside. Feel that as it grows with each in-breath and each out-breath. As it moves into your shoulders, to your back. As you breathe out and it goes downward into your belly and out your arms. Feel it as it climbs up the back of the neck, into your jaw. Breathing in. And feel it as it just releases out into the world. Such a gift that we do this every day. We breathe in and out every day, all day, and just being with it for just that moment. It can really, really make a big difference. So thank you. Thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for listening and sharing in this practice. Please make use of it as much as you'd like throughout your day. Make use of it often. Share it with people in your life. Just 1 or 2 breaths away at any moment. It can really help. I know that I feel so grateful that I've found this in my life. And it doesn't really cost a dime. All right, friends. Thanks for being here. Please reach out if you'd like to have any kind of conversation about anything that I talk about on this morning program. It's journeyhomemeditation@gmail.com. My name is Michael. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow.